Hi folks, you have to keep your fingers crossed because there's a fair chance that Sony will have an announcement on March 27, max March 28, so this coming week, and we might finally get the A1 and the A7sIII firmware update. As you know, the firmware update has been teased by Sony back in November when they launched the A9 III, and they also shared some of the details that the A1 and the A7sIII will get with the new firmware update. And on that slideshow they wrote that the firmware update will be released on March or later. In the past 48 hours I got 3 different messages from different sources. The first source that told me something about the firmware update is actually a news source, and he told me that he was invited at the Sony presentation in France, and he's going there and he was told it was about the firmware update. The second source is again a European source, also in that case a news source, and he told me that creators and YouTubers have been invited at a Sony event that will start to kick off on March the 26th and goes on till March the 27th, where Sony will showcase some of the new features. And he has been also invited to that event, and yeah, he thinks the firmware update will be released on March the 27th or max March the 28th. So those were news sources. So I asked some of my trusted sources if they know something. Usually they know well ahead from Sony info about hardware, but software it's a bit different. And one of the trusted sources asked around and he got the confirmation, he said, from one of his contacts that indeed there is a firmware release, or it appears there's a firmware release coming this week. So that's why I'm not 100% sure, because I need 2-3 trusted sources to really tell me yes, that's it, that they got the direct info from Sony or evidence that this is going to happen. That's not the case, but I think there's a fair chance that on March 27, max March 28, we are getting the firmware update. Now, what can we expect from that firmware update if it's really coming? Well, Sony already disclosed the official features like breathing compensation, relay playback, EPTC, FTP, workflow, and C2PA format support. But Sony also said there will be many more features beside of those mentioned on the slideshow. So if there is going a firmware update coming this week, we have to expect a ton of new features for both cameras. There are some rumors about possible features, like for example the A1 could get some of the Murano AK camera feature, like for example XAVC, HI, SQ, AK30p, AK ProRes RAW with HDMI to latest Atomos devices, and of course the A1 and the A7sIII are expected to get the full Creators app support, so this is certain. But also cameras like the A7 IV and the ZV-1F should get an official support for the Creators app sometimes in late spring, but I don't know if they only will get Creators app support or if there will be also bug fixes and possibly new features for those cameras too. But before that we will definitely get the A1 and the A7sIII firmware update. So that's for sure that it's coming. We just didn't know when exactly, but it appears there's a fair chance that on March 27 we will get them. So fingers crossed folks that finally we have those long-awaited firmware updates. A reminder that the day before March 26, Sigma will have an announcement. They will announce the 50mm 1.2 autofocus lens. I already leaked the specs and a bit of an image of the lens. The lens will look exactly like the 50mm 1.4 art lens, having the same filter size but with 1.2 aperture. After the Sigma announcement and after possibly the new Sony firmware announcement, we will have another Sony announcement in mid-April, around April 16-17, and that's where we will get new products. So I hope multiple products. For sure we're getting a 1625 2.8G, but hopefully also one of the other products that I'm sure are coming between now and early summer, which are the 24 to 70mm 2.0. That would be my favorite. I would love to get it as soon as it gets. Then there will be also the 85GM2 1.4. This is more likely to be announced around June. Then there is also the ZV-E10II also confirmed, so I'm 100% sure this stuff will be announced between now and early summer. You can really bet on it. And I also hope there's something more that I don't know, so maybe some room for surprises, but I've been told the real big guns for Sony when it comes to cameras will be announced in the second half of the year. So that's when we are really getting some exciting new alpha cameras. And I will soon share some early tidbits about what cameras to expect in my next video. So please again, like this video to help me in the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button to not miss any of the upcoming rumors. Sony's plan is to be big the second half of the year, so don't be worried that this is going to be a boring year, whatever. No, there's definitely some exciting stuff coming, and I think, for example, the 24-70 2.0 that is coming pretty soon will be a super exciting lens, but I've been told there is much more crazy stuff coming. So definitely you can expect this channel to be more exciting every month from now on, because there's a lot of info coming in, a lot of rumors I'm working on, and it's going to be a huge year for not only for Sony, for many manufacturers. I will talk about also the Canon R1, the new Nikon cameras, other Fuji cameras coming down the road, and of course also the Panasonic cameras. There are 3 Panasonic cameras coming very soon. So folks, it's going to be a great year for photography. After many years of slowdown of the market, I think this will be a start of the year where we get a lot more stuff than we got in 2023. Folks, that's it for today. See you soon.